I know this isn't the most exciting topic, but we need to cover the safety rules. Because AI is incredibly powerful, and powerful tools can be dangerous and damaging. If I was handing you a chainsaw, I wouldn't just say, "Here you go, have fun." I'll teach you safety first, so you can remodel your house, not to demolish it. Same thing with AI. I've created a playbook for you available on my website that will help you use AI safely at work. I also created a companion PDF so you can have the rules handy when you're getting ready to automate your workflow. You can grab it in the description below. Subscribe, hit the bell, because we have one more topic to cover in the next episode. Then we go practical. How to install the tools, how to use them, how to build your first automation. Before we can get to the fun part, let me show you why this episode matters. Look at the data on the screen. If you just pasted this into a public AI website, you might have violated HIPAA, your organization's security policy, and your own code of ethics. I'm not here to scare you away from AI. I'm here to show you how to use it safely so you can get the benefits without risking your career. Let's start with healthcare because HIPAA is one of the strictest frameworks. Under HIPAA, Protection Health Information, PHI is any information that relates to someone's health, care, or payment and can be tied back to a specific person. There is a list of 18 identifiers that make data identifiable. You don't have to memorize every line, but you need to understand the categories. Category 1, direct personal details. Names, full address, dates directly related to a person, phone numbers, fax numbers, email addresses. Category 2, numbers that tie back to a person. Social security numbers, medical record numbers, health plan or insurance numbers, account, certificate or license numbers, and a unique ID your organization uses. Category 3, device and location fingerprints. Vehicle identifiers and license plates. Device IDs and serial numbers. URL or IP addresses that identify a person's device. Biometric identifiers like fingerprints, voice prints, retina scans. Full face photos or compatible images. And finally, any other unique code you assign, they can still identify the person. The rule is simple. If it's health-related data and it contains any of this, it never goes into ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, or any public AI tool. Even if you don't work in healthcare, you deal with PII, personally identifiable information. Think about employee HR records, customer account details, student records, financial information, complaint letters with names and contact info. If a piece of data could reasonably be used to identify a person, treat it as sensitive. Here's my rule. If you would be uncomfortable seeing this data in a screenshot on the front page of the news site, you don't paste it into the public AI tool. That applies whether you're in healthcare, finance, education, government, or any large organization. Let's walk through some real-life scenarios. Scenario 1. CRM export with real customers. You have a CSV of real customer names, emails, and purchase history. You want to upload it to ChatGPT and ask, "Help me segment my customers." Answer is no. This is real PII. It stays inside your approved systems. What you can do instead? Create a tiny fake version with made-up names and emails. Keep the same columns and rough patterns. Use that to experiment. Scenario 2, drafting a sensitive email. You're writing to an employee about performance or to a customer about complaint. You want to help making it clearer and more empathetic. Answer: it depends. Better approach: remove or change the names. Remove specific identifiers like account number, location, case IDs. Generalize the situation slightly. Then ask: I'm writing to an employee about a performance issue. Here's a draft with details changed. Can you help me to make this clearer and respectful? Never include real names, real account numbers, or anything confidential. Scenario 3. Help me to fix this formula. You have an Excel formula that isn't working. Can you paste the formula and few fake-looking rows into AI? Answer: mostly of the time yes, with caution. Change any real names or IDs. If it's medical or financial data, change the numbers. Keep the same structure, not the actual values. You're asking about the logic, not the exact data. Scenario 4. Describing a workflow. You want help improving your process for tracking grants, onboarding staff, or closing monthly books. You can absolutely describe the workflow in words like this. We have a database with these fields. We export to Excel. Then we filter by X and send Y to Z. This is usually safe as long as you don't paste actual records with identifiers. There are two key tools: reduction and synthetic data. Reduction means you start with real data, you remove or replace identifiers so the person is no longer identifiable. Good reduction keeps the shape of the data, the types of values, but removes anything pointing to the real person. Synthetic data goes further. You don't use real records at all. You create a fake mini version with made-up people and numbers that keep the same columns, patterns, and edge cases. My rule of thumb: real systems use synthetic copies. We build small, fake sets that mirror the structure. How to create synthetic data? Manually type 10 to 20 rows that look realistic but fake. Use Excel formulas to generate fake values. Once you have that, you can safely experiment with AI. Before you paste anything into a public AI tool, run through this checklist. Number 1. Does this data contain names, contact info, or IDs that belong to real people? Number 2. Does it contain anything about health, finances, HR, legal issues, or students? Number 3. Would it be okay if this exact text appeared in a screenshot on the public website with my name on it? Number 4. Am I sharing more than I need to, or could I describe the problem in words instead? Number 5. Could I create a smaller synthetic example instead of using real data? If you're not sure, default to no. I won't share this. I'll make a fake version instead. Alright, so now take a workflow that you picked in the episode 1 and 2. Identify what kinds of data flow through it: names, IDs, health info, money, internal policies. Create a tiny synthetic data that mimics the workflow. 10 to 20 rows, same columns, completely fake values. Put it in clearly labeled folder. You now have a safe sandbox to play in. The goal isn't to scare you. The goal is to give you freedom through guardrails so you can explore AI confidently. In the next episode, we'll finally talk about your actual AI toolkit. Organization tools like Copilot, public tools like ChatGPT and Claude, and local tools that run on your own machine.